Imagine waking up to find your money worthless, food scarce, and the world as you know it changed forever. This isn't the plot of a dystopian novel, it's one of Nostradamus' shocking predictions for 2024. In his centuries-old quatrains, he speaks of a great economic collapse, likening it to a dam breaking. As we approach this fateful year, are we seeing the first cracks in that dam? In the shadowy realm of prophecy, one name stands above all others, Nostradamus. But who was this enigmatic figure whose words continue to captivate and confound us centuries after his death? Born Michel de Nostradamus in 1503 in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, France, Nostradamus began his career as a humble apothecary. He spent his early years treating plague victims, gaining a reputation for his innovative medical techniques. But fate had grander plans for this Renaissance man. It was during a fateful night in 1547 that Nostradamus' life took a dramatic turn. As he gazed into a bowl of water, strange visions began to flood his mind. Images of future events, both wondrous and terrifying, danced before his eyes. Was this a divine gift or a curse? Nostradamus himself wasn't sure, but he knew he couldn't ignore these powerful premonitions. From that moment on, Nostradamus devoted himself to recording his visions. His method was as unconventional as it was mysterious. Late at night, he would climb to his study, a room filled with herbs and ancient texts. There, surrounded by flickering candles, he would enter a trance-like state. Some say he used a brass tripod and bowl of water to induce his visions, while others claim he relied on astrology and occult practices. Whatever his methods, Nostradamus produced a series of prophecies that would change the course of history. He published his first almanac in 1550, but it was his magnum opus, Les Prophéties, that truly captured the world's imagination. This collection of cryptic quatrains, published in 1555, contained predictions spanning from his own time to the year 3797. As word of Nostradamus' abilities spread, he gained powerful admirers. Catherine de' Medici, the queen consort of France, became his most notable patron. She was so impressed by his predictions that she appointed him as counselor and physician in ordinary to her young son, the future King Charles IX. But with fame came danger. The Catholic Church viewed Nostradamus' work with suspicion, accusing him of heresy and dabbling in the dark arts. To protect himself, Nostradamus cloaked his predictions in deliberately obscure language, using a mix of French, Latin, Greek, and Italian. Despite the risks, Nostradamus continued to write until his death in 1566. His final prediction, it said, was the exact date of his own passing. As he lay on his deathbed, he reportedly told his secretary, "You will not find me alive at sunrise." True to his word, Nostradamus was found dead the next morning. In the centuries since his death, Nostradamus' prophecies have been credited with predicting everything from the Great Fire of London to the rise of Napoleon. But it's his chilling predictions for our own time that have captured the world's attention anew. As we stand on the brink of 2024, many are turning to Nostradamus' words for guidance and warning. What did this mysterious seer envision for our future, and how much faith should we place in the words of a man who lived nearly 500 years ago? As we delve deeper into Nostradamus' most famous predictions, we'll explore how his ancient prophecies continue to shape our modern world. Nostradamus' quatrains have puzzled and fascinated generations, but what if we've been reading them all wrong? Imagine a world where these ancient verses hold the power to predict not just one future, but many. As we unravel the layers of these cryptic poems, we might just discover that Nostradamus' true gift was far more complex than anyone ever realized. At the heart of Nostradamus' prophecies lie his famous quatrains, 4-line rhyming verses that have captivated the world for centuries. First published in 1555, these enigmatic stanzas formed the backbone of his predictions, each set of 100 quatrains known as a century. But don't be fooled by their simple structure. These verses are anything but straightforward. Trying to decipher Nostradamus's words is like attempting to solve a 500-year-old puzzle with pieces that keep changing shape. The language he used, a mix of 16th century French, Latin, Greek, and Italian, is a labyrinth of ambiguity. Scholars have spent lifetimes grappling with the linguistic complexities, often ending up with more questions than answers. It's as if Nostradamus wanted to ensure that only the most dedicated seekers could unlock his secrets. But how do we crack this centuries-old code? Some turn to history books, searching for events that align with Nostradamus's cryptic words. Others pore over star charts, convinced that the key lies in the astrological principles the seer himself employed. And then there are those who believe that the true meaning changes based on who's reading the quatrains, as if Nostradamus's words were a mirror reflecting our own expectations and fears. Take, for example, the phrase, "A man will replace who never expected to be king." It sounds straightforward enough, doesn't it? But in the world of Nostradamus, nothing is ever that simple. Some interpret this as a prediction about Prince William unexpectedly ascending to the throne, while others see it as a nod to Prince Harry. Two brothers, two potential futures, all from one line of text. It's enough to make your head spin. But what if these multiple interpretations aren't a bug, but a feature? What if Nostradamus wasn't predicting a single, fixed future, but rather a range of possibilities? It's a shocking thought. The idea that these ancient verses might be more fluid and adaptable than we ever imagined. As we dig deeper into Nostradamus's world, the possibilities seem endless. Could a single quatrain hold the key to understanding global economic shifts, political upheavals, and natural disasters? Or are we simply seeing what we want to see, projecting our own fears and hopes onto these cryptic lines? Experts argue that the most reliable way to interpret Nostradamus's predictions is to use a combination of approaches. They suggest diving into the historical context of his time, unraveling the linguistic knots of his writing, and understanding the astrological principles that guided his visions. It's like assembling a complex puzzle where each piece, history, language, and celestial knowledge, must fit perfectly to reveal the bigger picture. But even with these methods, can we ever truly understand what Nostradamus saw in his visions? Or are we destined to forever chase the shadows of his prophecies, never quite grasping their full meaning? As we stand on the threshold of 2024, Nostradamus's words take on a new urgency. What shocking revelations await us in the coming year? Will his predictions for our time prove as accurate as those attributed to him in the past? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. As long as there are mysteries in this world, people will turn to Nostradamus's quatrains, seeking guidance, warning, and perhaps a glimpse into the future that awaits us all. For centuries, the British monarchy has stood as a symbol of stability and tradition. But what if Nostradamus foresaw its downfall? A cryptic quatrain speaks of a ruler replaced by one who will have no mark of a king. In light of recent royal scandals and health crises, could this prediction be closer to reality than we ever imagined? Nostradamus, the 16th century seer whose words continue to captivate us, left behind a chilling prophecy about the future of the British crown. In one of his most talked about quatrains, he wrote of the King of the Isles being driven out by force. As we look at the current state of the royal family, it's hard not to wonder if we're witnessing the first tremors of a royal earthquake. King Charles III, barely 2 years into his reign, finds himself at the center of this prophecy. The recent news of his prostate cancer diagnosis has sent shockwaves through the nation. Could this health crisis be the force that Nostradamus spoke of? It's a sobering thought that the king's reign, which began with such promise, might be cut tragically short. But the prophecy doesn't end with Charles's potential abdication. Nostradamus speaks of a successor who will have no mark of a king. This cryptic phrase has set royal watchers abuzz with speculation. Who could this mysterious figure be? Prince William, the heir apparent, seems the obvious choice. He's been preparing for royal duties his entire life, and sources say he's eager to make his mark as king. But does he fit Nostradamus's description? Some argue that William's years of training and royal upbringing make him the very definition of a marked king. Then there's Prince Harry, the royal rebel. His dramatic exit from royal life and subsequent revelations about the family have caused no small amount of controversy. Could Nostradamus have foreseen a scenario where Harry, against all odds, ascends to the throne? It's a possibility that would certainly shake the monarchy to its core. But what if Nostradamus's words point to an even more radical change? Some theologians propose that the phrase, "no mark of a king," could signal the end of the monarchy altogether. In an age where the relevance of royal institutions is increasingly questioned, could Britain be on the verge of becoming a republic? As we ponder these possibilities, recent events seem to align eerily with Nostradamus's words. The ongoing tensions within the royal family, the health concerns of senior royals, and the changing attitudes of the British public all point to a period of unprecedented instability for the monarchy. Mario Reading, a British author who's dedicated his life to studying Nostradamus, offers a chilling interpretation. He believes the prophecy suggests that the people themselves will force out the king, disapproving of his past actions. It's a scenario that would have been unthinkable just a few decades ago, but in our current climate of royal scrutiny, it doesn't seem entirely impossible. So, what are we to make of this prophecy? Are we truly on the brink of a royal revolution? Or is this just another case of reading too much into the words of a long-dead seer? Only time will tell if Nostradamus's vision of a dramatically altered British monarchy will come to pass. But one thing is certain: as long as his words exist, people will continue to look to them for guidance, warning, and perhaps a glimpse into the future that awaits us all. As we leave behind the realm of royal prophecies, we find ourselves facing an even broader canvas of global political predictions. What other shocks and surprises might Nostradamus have in store for the world stage? From royal turmoil to global chaos, Nostradamus's predictions take an even darker turn. Picture long lines of desperate people stretching down city blocks, not for the latest iPhone, but for basic necessities. Is this just a fevered dream from centuries past, or a chilling glimpse into our immediate future? Nostradamus's vision of economic collapse in 2024 is nothing short of apocalyptic. He saw people standing in endless food lines, their faces etched with hunger and desperation. It's as if the world woke up one morning to find its financial system in ruins, leaving millions unprepared and struggling to survive. The prophet likened it to being caught in a blizzard, wearing summer clothes, a stark image of how suddenly and severely this crisis could hit. But Nostradamus didn't just foresee a momentary downturn. His quatrains speak of a prolonged period of hardship, symbolized by 4 oak trees. Each tree represents a year of struggle, particularly for America. It's a sobering thought. 4 long years of economic winter, where people must learn to adapt or face dire consequences. Are we already seeing the first signs of this impending collapse? Current global economic indicators paint a troubling picture. Inflation rates are soaring and supply chains are buckling under unprecedented strain. Experts warn that these factors could be the sparks that ignite a full-blown economic inferno. It's as if the world is balanced on a knife edge, with even the slightest push, threatening to send us tumbling into the abyss Nostradamus foresaw. Some economists speak of a great reset, a fundamental restructuring of the global economy. This concept has gained traction in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, with many seeing it as a necessary response to the inequalities and instabilities exposed by the crisis. But could this reset be the very upheaval Nostradamus predicted? Is the world unknowingly marching towards the economic apocalypse he described? History tells us that economic collapses often follow periods of excessive speculation and unsustainable debt. Look around. Do you see these warning signs in today's world? The parallels are unsettling, to say the least. It's as if we're actors in a play, blindly reciting lines that lead us towards a catastrophic final act. If Nostradamus' vision comes to pass, the impact on everyday life would be profound. Job losses could skyrocket, plunging millions into poverty. Social unrest might erupt as people struggle to meet their basic needs. The world as we know it could change overnight, leaving us to navigate a landscape as foreign and hostile as any dystopian novel. But not all experts are convinced that economic Armageddon is inevitable. While some point to high debt levels, inflation, and geopolitical tensions as harbingers of doom, others remain cautiously optimistic. They argue that the global economy has weathered storms before and can do so again. The question is, are they right, or are they underestimating the perfect storm that Nostradamus saw brewing on the horizon? As we stand on the threshold of 2024, the world holds its breath. Will Nostradamus' chilling vision of economic collapse come to pass, or will we find a way to avert disaster? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The prophet's words serve as a stark reminder of how fragile our economic systems truly are. Yet even as we grapple with the possibility of financial ruin, Nostradamus' predictions take an even more ominous turn. For beyond the economic turmoil, he saw nature itself turning against humanity. What cataclysmic events did the seer envision for our world, and are we prepared to face them? Imagine waking up to find your city underwater, or watching helplessly as the ground beneath your feet splits open. These aren't scenes from a nightmare. They're visions Nostradamus had for our future. But here's the twist. Modern science is starting to agree with him. Are we on the brink of a natural disaster so massive it could rewrite the map of our world? Nostradamus' predictions about nature's fury are chilling. He spoke of a world where the dry earth will grow more parched and there will be great floods. It's as if he saw our planet caught in a vicious cycle of extreme weather, swinging wildly between drought and deluge. But it doesn't stop there. The prophet also warned of a strong and dangerous earthquake in the world that could claim thousands of lives. Sound familiar? The recent devastating quake in Morocco seems to echo his words with eerie accuracy. But are these just vague guesses that happen to line up with current events? Or did Nostradamus truly see our future? Let's look at what modern science has to say. According to current climate change data, global heat waves are now occurring 67% more frequently than in the past. The World Meteorological Organization is already predicting that 2025 will be another record-breaking hot year. It's as if the planet is running a fever and we're all caught in its burning grip. The situation is even more alarming when we zoom in on specific data. A recent study revealed that the highest temperatures during heat waves have increased compared to those recorded just 40 years ago. It's not just that we're having more hot days, those hot days are getting hotter. The Earth isn't just warming, it's overheating. But what about Nostradamus' prediction of great floods? As counterintuitive as it might seem, a hotter planet doesn't just mean more drought, it also means more intense rainfall when it does occur. The atmosphere, warmed by greenhouse gases, can hold more moisture. When that moisture finally falls as rain, it comes down in torrents. It's a cruel irony, the same warming that parches the earth also sets the stage for devastating floods. The potential impact of these disasters is staggering. We're talking about widespread displacement, food shortages, and economic instability on a global scale. History shows us that major natural disasters can reshape entire societies. Now imagine that happening not just in one region, but across the world. The refugee crises we've seen in recent years could pale in comparison to the mass migrations triggered by these climate catastrophes. How might society respond to such events? Nostradamus's prophecies could spark increased preparedness efforts and drastic policy changes regarding climate change. We might see a collective call to action unlike anything in human history. But will it be enough? And more importantly, will it come in time? Experts warn that the combination of climate change and natural disasters could lead to humanitarian crises of unprecedented scale. Regions already vulnerable to disasters may face compounded challenges, pushing them to the brink of collapse. It's a domino effect that could reshape geopolitics, economies, and the very way we live. So, are Nostradamus's dire predictions about nature's fury inevitable? While many scientists agree that climate change is increasing the frequency and intensity of natural disasters, the future isn't set in stone. Our actions today could still alter the course of tomorrow. But one thing is clear: the clock is ticking, and nature's patience is wearing thin. As we grapple with these potential natural calamities, Nostradamus's visions take yet another turn. Beyond the upheavals of nature, he saw a world transformed by human ingenuity. What role will technology play in our future? And could it be the key to our survival or our undoing? From predicting natural disasters to potentially causing them, technology's role in our future is complex. Nostradamus spoke of metal minds that would change the world. Today, AI is advancing at a breakneck pace. But here's the burning question: will 2024 be the year machines outsmart humans? Nostradamus's prophecies about technological advancements are as cryptic as they are fascinating. In one of his quatrains, he wrote of iron birds that would darken the sky, a prediction many believe refers to modern aircraft. But his visions went far beyond flying machines. He spoke of a time when the moon nears the full, the mind's eye opens, a phrase some interpret as a reference to artificial intelligence. Fast forward to today, and AI is no longer the stuff of science fiction. It's here, it's real, and it's evolving faster than many of us can comprehend. From chatbots that can write essays to algorithms that can diagnose diseases, AI is already reshaping our world in profound ways. But are we on the cusp of something even more revolutionary? The current state of AI development is nothing short of astounding. Machine learning algorithms are becoming increasingly sophisticated, able to process vast amounts of data and make decisions with a speed and accuracy that often surpasses human capabilities. Natural language processing has advanced to the point where AI can engage in complex conversations, understand context, and even generate creative content. But the real breakthroughs may be yet to come. Experts predict that 2024 could see major advancements in quantum computing, potentially supercharging AI capabilities. Imagine an AI system that can simulate complex molecular structures, revolutionizing drug discovery and potentially finding cures for diseases that have long eluded us. Or consider an AI that can accurately predict and mitigate the effects of climate change, offering solutions to one of humanity's greatest challenges. Yet, as we stand on the brink of these technological marvels, we must also grapple with their ethical implications. The rise of advanced AI raises profound questions about privacy, job displacement, and the very nature of human consciousness. If AI becomes truly self-aware, what rights should it have? And who will be held accountable when AI makes decisions that affect human lives? The potential for AI to change society is both exhilarating and terrifying. On one hand, AI could usher in an era of unprecedented prosperity, solving complex problems and freeing humans from mundane tasks. On the other, it could exacerbate existing inequalities, concentrating power in the hands of those who control the technology. Are we prepared for a world where algorithms make crucial decisions about our lives, from who gets a job to who receives medical treatment? As for when machines might truly surpass human intelligence, expert opinions vary wildly. Some predict that artificial general intelligence, AI that matches or exceeds human cognitive abilities across all domains, could emerge as early as the 2030s. Others believe it's still decades away, if it's possible at all. But one thing is clear: the trajectory of AI development is accelerating, and 2024 could be a pivotal year in this journey. Nostradamus' visions of technological advancement may have seemed outlandish in his time, but today they feel eerily prescient. As we teeter on the edge of this AI revolution, one can't help but wonder what other predictions might come true. And as machines grow ever smarter, what new challenges await humanity on the global stage? While technology reshapes our world, ancient prophecies whisper of a more primal threat. Nostradamus spoke of a time when the great ocean would be filled with dread. As tensions simmer in the South China Sea, are we witnessing the first tremors of a seismic shift in global power? The year 2024 might just prove that humanity's greatest challenge isn't artificial intelligence, but our own destructive nature. Nostradamus' visions of war and conflict have long haunted those who study his prophecies. In his cryptic quatrains, he painted a picture of a world teetering on the brink of chaos. Now, as we stand on the threshold of 2024, his words seem to echo with an unsettling resonance. The seer's predictions speak of a red adversary that would strike fear into the hearts of nations. Many scholars interpret this as a reference to China, a rising superpower whose influence continues to grow. But is this ancient prophecy about to become our modern reality? Today, the geopolitical landscape is a powder keg waiting for a spark. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, while expected to conclude due to mutual exhaustion, may only be the prelude to a greater storm. Experts warn that this respite could be short-lived, as Nostradamus foresees devastating natural disasters in Brazil, including volcanic eruptions and severe flooding. These events, if they come to pass, could reshape global dynamics in ways we can scarcely imagine. But it's the rise of China that has geopolitical analysts most concerned. The South China Sea, a region of immense strategic importance, has become a flashpoint of tension. As China flexes its military muscles, asserting control over disputed territories, the world watches with bated breath. Could this be the arena where Nostradamus' prophecy of naval battles comes to fruition? The seer's writings include chilling references to such conflicts. One quatrain suggests that the red adversary will become pale with fear, putting the great ocean in dread. It's a vivid image that seems to align all too well with current fears of a confrontation in the Pacific. Yet the potential for conflict isn't limited to Asia. Nostradamus' prophecies for 2025 paint a grim picture of global turmoil. He speaks of increased conflicts, geopolitical problems, and humanitarian disasters. It's as if the world is poised on the edge of a precipice, with forces beyond our control pushing us ever closer to the brink. Experts note that this potential for widespread conflict isn't just about politics or ideology. The combination of climate change, resource scarcity, and geopolitical tensions creates a perfect storm of instability. As nations scramble for dwindling resources, the likelihood of wars erupting over basic necessities becomes frighteningly real. So, what does this mean for the future of international relations? If Nostradamus' visions come to pass, we could see a dramatic reshaping of global alliances. The current world order, already under strain, might crumble entirely. Nations once considered allies could find themselves on opposite sides of conflicts, while old enemies might forge unlikely partnerships in the face of common threats. But are these dire predictions inevitable, or can humanity chart a different course? While some experts believe that major conflicts are all but certain in the coming years, others hold out hope for diplomatic solutions. They argue that the very awareness of these potential dangers might spur nations to work together to prevent them. As we ponder these possibilities, one thing becomes clear. The world stands at a crossroads. The choices we make in the coming months and years could determine whether Nostradamus's dark visions become our reality or remain confined to the pages of history. Yet even as we grapple with the possibility of global conflict, Nostradamus's prophecies take an unexpected turn. Beyond the drums of war, he speaks of a profound shift in human consciousness. Could it be that amidst the chaos and strife, a new era of spiritual awakening is dawning? Amidst the chaos of war and conflict, a glimmer of hope emerges from Nostradamus's prophecies. What if the turbulent times ahead aren't just about destruction, but also rebirth? His cryptic verses hint at a transformation so profound it could redefine humanity's very essence. For centuries, spiritual awakenings have reshaped societies. But what if the next one is on a scale we've never seen before? Nostradamus's predictions point to a global shift in consciousness that could turn our understanding of reality upside down. Are we standing on the brink of a new spiritual age? Look around you. Can you feel the change in the air? More and more people are turning away from traditional religious institutions, seeking a personal connection with the divine. It's as if a collective hunger for spiritual nourishment is sweeping across the globe. Meditation apps are topping the charts, mindfulness practices are entering boardrooms, and ancient wisdom traditions are finding new life in our modern world. But this isn't just about individuals finding inner peace. Nostradamus saw something far more dramatic on the horizon. His writings speak of a time when spiritual strength and divine inspiration would play crucial roles in shaping the future. Could this be the key to navigating the challenges that lie ahead? Imagine a world where compassion and interconnectedness become the driving forces of society. It sounds like a utopian dream, doesn't it? But experts suggest that we might be closer to this reality than we think. They point to the rising interest in holistic practices and the growing awareness of our impact on the planet as signs of a collective awakening. History tells us that times of great upheaval often pave the way for spiritual revolutions. The Protestant Reformation reshaped the religious landscape of Europe. The New Age movement emerged from the cultural tumult of the 1960s. Are we on the cusp of another such transformation? Nostradamus's prophecies hint at both challenges and opportunities for spiritual growth in the coming years. As humanity grapples with the consequences of its actions, many are turning inward, seeking deeper meaning in their lives. Could this be the start of the great awakening he foresaw? But what would a global spiritual shift actually look like? Some envision a world where ancient wisdom and modern science come together, creating a new paradigm for understanding our place in the cosmos. Others see a future where the boundaries between different faith traditions blur, giving rise to a universal spirituality that transcends cultural divides. The implications of such a shift are staggering. How would it change our approach to global conflicts? Could a newfound sense of interconnectedness help us tackle climate change more effectively? Might it even alter the very fabric of our societies, reshaping our economic and political systems? Of course, not everyone is convinced that a spiritual revolution is imminent. Skeptics argue that the world is becoming more secular, not less. They point to declining church attendance in many countries as evidence that spirituality is on the wane. But perhaps they're missing the bigger picture. What if this decline in traditional religious practices is actually making way for something new, something that Nostradamus saw centuries ago, but we're only now beginning to glimpse? As we stand on the threshold of 2024, the world holds its breath. Will Nostradamus' vision of a spiritual awakening come to pass, or will humanity continue down its current path? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the potential for profound change is in the air, and whether we embrace it or resist it, the coming years promise to be a time of transformation unlike any we've seen before. As we've journeyed through Nostradamus' shocking predictions for 2024, one question lingers: how much power do these ancient prophecies truly hold over our future? From royal upheavals to economic collapse, from nature's fury to spiritual awakenings, the seer's visions paint a world on the brink of transformation. But remember, prophecies are not set in stone. They're glimpses of possible futures, not inevitable destinies. As we stand on the threshold of 2024, we have the power to shape our own path. Stay informed, stay prepared, but most importantly, stay hopeful. In the end, perhaps the greatest mystery isn't what Nostradamus saw, but how we'll choose to face the challenges ahead. Will we succumb to fear or rise to meet our destiny with courage and wisdom? Only time will tell, but one thing's certain: the future is ours to write.